It's Thursday morning. Meteorologist Johnny Lively here to take a look at what's going on current radar and our 7-day forecast, which is sponsored by HB Neal Construction. Looking at radar, sponsored by Do Good Credit Union, it is clear and calm right now, and that was a little bit different than what we saw yesterday evening. A good number of the regions saw 1 to 2 inches of rain, had some power outages because of some of the gusty winds and the lightning that we've had, but it is absolutely clear right now. This is the last 6 hours on satellite and radar. You can see majority of Texas and Louisiana, not much going on, just some high clouds towards the Texas Hill Country region. Those high clouds aren't even into the Beaumont and Lake Charles region. You can see some over there towards Houston. Here's the power outages that we've seen from yesterday evening storms. This is sponsored by Switch Electric to show us we still see some of the biggest areas without power is currently over the Orange County area. Has some pretty strong gusty winds and lots of lightning, and so this is the reason that we've seen those power outages. And really later on this morning and throughout the day today, I would have expected that the power outages should start, kind of dwindling, and we will see more being restored. It's clear, it's calm right now, so the power company can continue to work on that. If I can talk this morning, this is thanks to our sponsor of Dana Simmons Real Estate. We can see the temperatures across the United States. You can see out to the west is starting out into the 60s, some areas into the 50s. Denver at 44, cool start this morning. Oklahoma and Little Rock is currently at 70 degrees, and then the further south that you go, like San Antonio and Houston and New Orleans, we are starting to get into the low to mid 70s. Houston, depending on, I think that's the Hobby Airport, is at 75 degrees. Beaumont is into the mid to upper 60s. Lake Charles at 69. Lafayette 69. A little bit further north that you go, you can get into the mid to upper 60s down towards the coast. Somewhat kind of cool this morning at 72 to 73 degrees. A little bit warmer towards Galveston at 76 and Cameron Parish at 75. Here's our outdoor and construction forecast sponsored by Modern Concrete. Looks pretty good for majority of the day, if not all day long. There can be a chance for some passing showers, probably going to be more towards the Houston and Woodlands region. Majority of the day is going to be mostly clear. We see a little bit more cloud cover coming into the afternoon, but looks pretty good on the outdoor forecast for today. Here's the upper level flow that we have. You can start seeing a little bit of a trough further to the north. This is keeping here locally in our region. We've got the flow somewhat out of the west. So a little bit of moisture, maybe a little bit of energy can give us a couple isolated showers later on. But a big difference as we get into early of next week. Notice we have what is called a cutoff low that should cut off from the jet stream. This should start kicking off rain chances for our region starting off Sunday, continuing into Monday, and Tuesday looks to be our biggest round. And we can actually see that on our atmospheric moisture chart sponsored by Do Good Credit Union. So limited moisture right now today and as we get into Friday and Saturday. But notice Sunday, Monday, and especially on Tuesday, high levels of moisture are pushing into our region. So we know we have that energy moving in. Along with this moisture, this should give us some pretty good coverage of rain starting on Monday, especially on Tuesday. So this brings us to our precipitation outlook. We are slightly above average as we get into early next week. And this also brings us to this roller coaster of a ride, right? 10 to 20% coverage the next couple of days. Rain starts picking up at the end of the weekend into early next week. Tuesday looking to be the biggest day. Let's look at our futurecast for today and as we get into Friday, sponsored by Modern Concrete. We start having the cloud cover kind of pick up a little bit into the afternoon. Some passing showers are definitely possible into the Sugarland, Houston, and Woodlands region. 10 to 20% coverage possible. Same thing as well as Beaumont, Lake Charles, but overall, this does not look like a bad day. Everything kind of dies down overnight tonight, and as we get into Friday, very similar to what we're seeing today, just 10 to 20% coverage. Some cloud cover starts picking up as we get into Friday evening. Here's our high temperatures that we're going to be seeing today. Temperatures will mainly be into the low to mid 90s, thanks to our sponsor of Switch Electric. We'll see our overnight and lows mainly into the I would say from the low to mid 70s, areas further north along the I-10 corridor and further north into the lakes region, what we say should be into the upper 60s. And then down towards the coast, you will be into the upper 70s to low 80s. This is Tropical Storm Gabrielle. Is it a tropical storm? Very questionable. If we zoom in here, see where the hurricane icon is, or the tropical storm icon is, there are no storms around this center. This is a naked swirl. There's just low clouds spinning. There has not been any storms for 12, 14 hours now. So is this a tropical storm? National Hurricane Center says it is. Here's the forecast that we're going to see. This should stay on the weak side really the next 2 to 3 days. Lots of dry air, and the wind shear is going to give this a hard time. National Hurricane Center is still saying this should be a Category 1 hurricane early next week. Well, we'll just have to see if it survives. Still dealing with that dry air in the short term, the next 2 to 3 days. There's that window of opportunity as we start getting into the end of the weekend. Notice that dry air thins out. So if Gabrielle can survive, it is possible that we will see this become a hurricane. Looking at the future cast right there, that's pretty hard if it's going to make it. But models still want to show that this possibly can still be a tropical storm, if not a hurricane, as we get into early to middle of next week. We'll see. I've got some low chances for that, but we'll continue to watch it. One thing we will watch this do is curve away from the United States. Bermuda will keep an eye on it, but this will curve away from the Gulf, curve away from the United States. No issue at all. So we will wave goodbye to this struggling system as of right now. Rain going to be pretty limited the next couple of days. Temperatures into the low 90s. We start seeing the rain coverage pick up at the end of the weekend, especially as we get into early next week. Same thing for Southwest Louisiana, 10 to 20% coverage the next couple of days. Saturday looks pretty good, and then we start seeing the rain start pushing back into the area so we get into Sunday, especially Monday and Tuesday of next week. So thank you so much for tuning in to Gulf Coast Weather Solutions. Have a wonderful Thursday. We'll have more posts throughout the day on Facebook, and thank you again. See y'all tomorrow morning.